It's called Advanced Answering Techniques. So it is three professional people explaining to other people how to answer different questions, a multiple variety of questions. Advanced Answering Techniques.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Advanced Answering Techniques. I'm your host, Josh, and I'm joined by Gabe.
Hey.
And Caleb.
Hi.
Wow, that was surprising.
You okay with
Wow.
what happened?
You switched up the order.
I listened
I
to
am.
an old episode when this used to be the glowing hour,
Yeah.
and I heard myself going back and forth doing it in a different order. And I
Yeah.
thought,
Well, it's good. It keeps us on our toes.
keeps everybody
puts
on
me
their
in my
toes.
place.
That's the thing I like most.
Yeah. Teaching Caleb
A lesson.
a lesson
Yeah. I mean,
about
last week wasn't enough with the points,
Yeah, no.
but
Yeah. Anything.
it makes sense.
Just to be irritating. Isn't that some of the most fun is being irritating?
Yes.
Don't
As
you love
a-
to be irritating?
As a younger brother of two sisters,
Yeah.
like specifically women, I find it very enjoyable.
It's wonderful to
irritate.
be irritating.
Yes.
which is perfect for you.
Wait, why?
Well, I don't know. I just think that's
I have my reasons, but
right.
what are your reasons?
You're right. I mean, there's some overlap, probably.
What's one of yours?
Just that you think that Caleb's an irritating person. So
No,
it
I
just
think
cuts with
that
the grain.
women
Yeah.
think that Caleb's an irritating person.
Yes.
I'm joking.
Definitely
Mostly.
experienced that in my life.
Yeah.
Guys are there. They're having a great time.
Oh, we're
Women
laughing.
are.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Gabe,
for
I'd love
me.
to go back to something that you said, which is that you're joking.
I was joking.
And I do what our listeners
I know,
should know.
I know, I
No,
know.
I want them to know
Yeah.
that you have to keep your head up because we're going to be joking.
Yeah, sometimes not everything we say on the podcast is 100% serious.
Right.
It's probably 75 or 80% serious.
Yeah.
Right. A
But-
good joke has some
Yeah.
truth
Yeah.
to it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we try to go to, we are like, our attempt is to do good jokes.
Good
We're
jokes.
trying to do
Yeah,
good
yeah.
jokes, and we're also trying to do something helpful and give people
True.
a way into
And
kind of
there's
understanding.
Nothing funny about that.
There isn't. It's just people need help. The world is a confusing place. It's only getting more and more
yes.
confusing.
Yeah.
Guys, the polarized, like the political situation,
Oh,
so
yeah.
Don't
polarized.
even get me started.
People. So we
Right,
try to
because
be
of voting.
Yeah, what's that?
It's polarized.
Yeah. Well, you got the polls.
Yeah. Vote polls.
Yeah, the political
Pollsters.
system is polarized.
These
polarized.
pollsters are polarizing us.
Yeah.
They really
Absolutely.
do. Dude, people
Like social media posters? People posting on social media?
Pollsters.
Oh,
Pollsters.
pollsters.
Pollster.
I don't know what that is.
They're Amy Poehler fans.
Oh, okay.
That's what she called.
Yeah.
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 I call them polecats.
That's good too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
those
that.
are her female fans.
I
And pollsters are male fans because they like dragsters, they like cars.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Stirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stirs is male.
It's male.
And it rhymes with holsters. Yeah. Guys like us.
Guys like guns.
Guys like guns.
Yes.
Yep. No, it's true. But things are becoming crazy. People are getting irritated.
We're like a
and
port
annoying.
in the storm, I
Sure.
think.
Oh man, I hope so.
try to-
Can we?
I tried to be that this week with someone who was irritated and annoyed and having trouble.
Okay.
I went
What was her
to not her.
Oh.
This was a man.
Okay.
I went to.
Do we have time for this?
Because
I would like to get to the question. We have a question from listener favorite Joy.
listener favorite Joy. I mean, and as far as we listen to her questions, count me as one of those
One of
listeners.
the listeners.
Definitely.
One of my
Yes.
favorites.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love her. Okay. I think we have time. I
Okay.
can go
To
quick.
talk about this, just go
I'm
for
just
it.
gonna go really
Caleb.
fast. Okay, I went to. Okay, all right.
I think I
so-
don't know if we have time.
My wife and I decided to have a day date on Saturday. We hired a babysitter. Comes to the house. We assigned 2 hours for what we were going to do. My wife decides that we should run a bunch of errands for our date.
Awesome.
We have a ton of errands. So we're doing these errands. Part of the errands are returning stuff to the local hardware store. I go to the hardware store, I go in. She's like, should I stay out here or should I come in with you? I'm like, stay out here. It's going to be quick.
It's a date.
It's a date. You stay in the car. I'll go inside. I thought this would be quick.
Yeah.
I go in. I'm waiting in line. The guy, it's like a customer service desk right at the front there. And sometimes they'll do overflow like checkout there. And so I'm like, oh, I kind of hope I don't get that guy. I've seen him before. He's maybe not the best at complicated interactions.
Okay.
He goes, I'm open. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what he can do. And so I go up.
Let's see what this baby can do.
Let's really open this guy up.
Made up of. So I go and I return. I have 2 items. All I'm doing is a return. It's just a return. He scans the items and he has the full amount and he's like, okay, but you used a coupon for $5 off when I bought these. So he has to return a certain amount and then put another amount on a gift card, which is their policy. He screws it up like immediately. He puts the full amount on the gift card and then looks at me and goes, could you just take a gift card with the full amount? So now my funds would be completely tied up at the store.
Right.
And I want the money back.
You can see why he would think this is a good solution.
Right. And I'm like,
works for
no.
him.
Yeah.
Which is the second time this happened. Another time it happened, and someone didn't want to let me at the pizza store. They didn't want to let me use pizza store. That's what Pizza Perfection is. It's a pizza store. It's not a restaurant.
It's not a restaurant or a shop.
It's not a shop or a restaurant. It's a store where you buy pizza. Okay. So I went there.
Would you like to see some of our pizzas?
Just like a guy rolling like a flat of pizzas in, putting them on the shelf for them to sit.
Just a pallet of pizzas.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd like to see something in a pepperoni if I could. That's Seinfeld.
That's good.
So
Thanks.
so I went at that place. The guy couldn't figure out how to use the gift card I was given and asked me if I could just not use the gift card this time. And I stood my ground and I said, no, I want to use the gift card. Got that figured out. But this guy over at the hardware store, he's put everything on there. Now he's like, okay. Yeah, not the same guy working at the pizza store and hardware store. Yes.
Yeah, this guy is working 2 jobs to ruin your life.
Which you might think means I'm the problem, but I think gift cards and returns are the problem. So I go, and now all of the money is on this gift card. So he's trying to back out of this gift card, and he cannot do it. It ends up that I have a gift card now with all this money on. He puts another $5 on this gift card. That's like he's just putting money away on this gift card. Things are getting way out of hand. I can see it happening, and I don't know what to do. And then at one point, he's like, "Okay, I'm going to need you to run your card on the reader to get the money back onto your card."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay, but this." How it looks from my side is that you're about to charge me this amount. An additional amount, okay? And he's like, it's okay. That's what it looks like. I do it.
And you trust him.
It charges.
I was going to say.
I'm like, there's 2 guys.
Right.
He's got another guy over there now, and they're both convincing me this is what I should do. I do it. I get charged the same amount. Including the $5. So now, anyway, things are still up in the air. I haven't closed it. I left because I was like, we're like waiting for things to go through for transactions to be completed, so we can know what's going on. So now, anyway, now I'm waiting.
For the title to the store, like the deed to the store,
that's
to
what I'm
show
demanding.
up in your mailbox.
But I was so patient throughout. There was one time where I kind of was like, which was just about me controlling what I'm doing. This guy, he's freaking out.
Yeah.
He's like totally freaking out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, it's not a big deal. And he's like, oh my gosh. He's like, you know what? I need a cup of, and I was like, coffee, right? And he's like, no, I need a cup of vodka. Is what he said to me.
I need a cup of
a
vodka.
cup of vodka. Yeah. And I was like, dude,
okay,
it is not a big deal.
Yeah.
Settle down.
Yeah.
It has taken, 4 times as long as I thought this interaction. My wife is now in the store. I told her, come on in, enjoy the
What's
hardware
happening?
store.
Come watch this.
She
guy.
brought me my coffee.
come pick an exotic soda.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
To drink.
Absolutely. Anyway, so it's a big mess. And, maybe next week, maybe I can tell you
Maybe
guys
we can resolve
What
that.
resolve.
happened?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's funny.
because this story
Sure.
has provoked questions.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
We're not in the business of providing questions.
Yeah.
Nope.
But I
So-
did get a.
And was that too long? Do we have enough time for that?
That was good. No, I liked it. And is that one of your better dates that you've had with your wife?
Recently, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah.
Had a ball.
Yeah. Awesome.
I was just so patient with this man
Yeah.
Yeah.
while he was just ruining things for
Yeah.
me.
Yep. And you said, "Sweetie, come look at me being patient.
Yes.
Watch me.
Watch this.
Watch this."
Part of my character that you usually don't get to see.
We have a question from a listener, collaborator, Joy, and Joy has a real conundrum.
Okay.
I think we've all been in a situation like this. So let's hear from Joy.
One of the things that gives me the most stress in my life is people coming to our house to do something, install something, fix something. Any sort of professional doing anything in our house gives me deep, deep anxiety. And I never know how to be. I never know what to say. I feel like everything needs to be really quiet. I feel like I need to be really entertaining. I never know what music to put on. I don't know what kind of ambience they want. So I just want to leave. And I can't leave today, and someone's coming in to install something, and I don't know, how do you make small talk? Or how do you be a good host to someone doing work in your house without making them feel awkward?
An age-old question.
Yeah.
And so Joy has a real problem. I mean, I guess we probably assume that this, for her, the immediate issue has been resolved. We haven't been able to help her with that. This is a question from a while ago. It sounded like it was sent in on the day of a visit.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think we can still lend a hand.
Well, yeah. And initially it was pretty interesting because she says one of the things that gives me the most stress is people coming to our house to do something.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's like, okay, that is stressful. What are they going to do?
What are they gonna
She
do?
does provide clarification
Right.
shortly thereafter, but
But even then, it's like, well, what are they going to install?
If
it's true. Yeah.
If your husband has just been like hired someone to come to your house to do something, that's not a great thing to hear.
There's going to be somebody coming by to do something.
Yeah. Hey, honey. Heads up.
Yeah.
If
You
a
wanna be
stranger
specific.
shows up, don't worry. He's just there to do something. Yeah.
Yeah, not great. Not great. You want to be specific, which, like you said, she does get into the
She does.
specifics there. Installing something, I had a situation kind of like
Did
this
you?
recently, and I enjoy this kind of thing sometimes. But one day we double booked people, so there were two. It's wild when you have two people working on completely different systems that are just in your home.
Yeah.
And they at one point they were working side by side in my home, like almost side by side.
Do you
One
think
guy,
they appreciated that? Like,
I don't think they.
oh,
did.
they
No.
did it?
You can. It's kind of funny. You see, like they leave maybe at the same time, and they're chatting, and maybe they're just like, "That house is insane. Can't believe what those people are doing in there." but yeah, an oven guy fixing our oven, an internet guy fixing our internet. A mouse chewed through my fiber cable, and so we had to have them
Is
both
that for
out
your
there.
oven?
What I did to make, I didn't worry too much about them. And I decided I would think about me, and I filmed them both.
Okay.
Without their knowledge.
Sure.
I just filmed them next to each other.
Yeah. That's
Like,
fine.
So that's a good. So Joy, that's something to keep in mind.
Right.
Yeah, you could film them and
Film
just
them.
maybe
Film
don't
them.
worry too much about them.
Yeah. Yeah, just think about something that you'd like, which is to have video of a guy at your house.
Yeah. That's certainly one tact
Yeah.
that you can take.
Yeah, it's a good approach. Other approaches, something I was thinking about is small talk.
Oh,
Small talk is so difficult for some of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of us just don't really live on the surface.
No.
We have
Live
depths.
underground.
We live underground.
Yep.
Hobbits live underground.
Yep.
We're like
Hobbits and
hobbits.
some other people
Yeah.
like to make tunnels and stuff.
Yep.
Sure.
There are people who are
Yeah.
making tunnels.
Miners.
Yep. Miners.
Yep. Miners.
Some of them are
And-
young.
and some other people. Yep.
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 They're trying to get to
Different
the gold
groups
or
who
silver.
need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need to be underground. And need to be scurrying around underground.
Right. To do their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
To accomplish their goals.
Keep holy.
Yeah.
To
Right, because they're in the tunnel. What's holier than a
It's
tunnel?
holier than a
True.
It's just a
It's a
long.
it's a really
God.
long hole.
Is that what a tunnel is?
I think
It's
I
a
didn't
long
know that.
hole.
I didn't know
Oh,
that.
you
A
didn't?
tunnel's just a sideways long hole.
Yeah.
that's what you were calling them the whole time.
It's nice to have the word tunnel now.
Yeah.
Just to
I've
resolve
been
that.
wasting so much breath
Mm-hmm.
talking about tunnels as sideways long holes.
Sideways long hole.
Hey kids, we're gonna hold the horn all the way through this sideways long hole.
But yeah. So we're some of us do live underground, but we so we have depths.
Yeah,
We're
we don't
very
live on the surface.
deep people, and it's hard for us to be on the surface with other people.
Make small talk.
So what I would say is, don't make the small talk.
Okay.
Yeah, get into
Get
Yeah.
into it.
it.
Yes. Okay. Do you have an idea for an initial question on that?
Go. You.
I was
wanna
just
hear
gonna
what
say,
I want to hear what you have.
like
to say.
it's maybe a little bit small talk. It's like small talk adjacent,
Mm-hmm.
but it does seem. It's like, do you find your job fulfilling?
Mm.
Just go there first.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because then that could kind of clue you into what their attitude is.
Yeah.
If they're having a good time, they're saying, "Oh, I love my job.
Yeah.
I love this."
Yeah.
Then you might not need to be like, "Well, do you want some tea or some coffee or
Yeah.
water or something?"
Mhm.
If they're getting enough fulfillment from
Yeah.
just the work.
Yeah.
right? At that point.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do the extra stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that might be the first that would be my recommendation
Yep.
for like a first
That's good.
question
That's
there.
good. You could
Yeah.
ask them which is their favorite tool.
That's great.
They bring
Yeah.
in some tools.
Yeah.
And you go,
Yeah.
Do you like
Now-
your job? And which is your favorite tool?
Yeah.
I will say that's a risky question
Is it?
because then you go on and they say, "Oh, I like this tool," and you notice the job that you have for them, they're hardly using that tool,
Oh, yeah.
and now you kind of feel bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and-
you might feel a little bit bad, but you could also say, well, you could just apologize.
Yeah.
Say, I'm sorry.
I'm
you don't
sorry
get
that
to
the
use
job-
your
I'm
favorite
sorry you don't get to or if you feel bad enough, you know what you could do? Go break another thing in your
Yeah.
house that
That
you
they
that
could-
you
go-
suspect they would use that
Need
tool
this
to
tool
fix.
for.
What kind
Yeah.
of things do
Yeah.
you need that tool for?
Right.
What kind
Yeah.
of jobs? You know?
Yeah.
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 Uh-oh. That thing you need that tool for is broken.
Oh.
Well, perfect.
Yeah.
Come on over here and fix that.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
that.
Go
Use
over
that
here.
to fix this.
Yeah. Can you do something over here? With
The-
that
good
with your
news.
favorite tool?
Good news, you get to use that to fix this over here.
How's your job fulfillment now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now look,
Is
that
this getting
might
better?
that might be a little too forward
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
They might start thinking things that you
Yeah.
don't want them to think. Like,
What would that
oh, they want me around, they like me.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not just trying to make me feel comfortable and
okay.
help me enjoy what I'm doing in their home.
Yeah.
But now they're like, hey buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. That's not
No.
what's going on.
Yeah.
That's yeah, exactly. You have to
Yeah.
like you can really breed familiarity in these situations.
Yeah, they're there to install a new shower head, not a new friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
To install a new friend.
Yeah. Well, and you could ask them, do you think of the things that you install as friends?
Are these your friends? Are you sad that now this friend is going to live in my house?
Yeah, his friend's gone.
You can stop by and say hey, but you have to text first.
Yes.
Please text.
At least a text.
One of the things, my wife, when we were renting, we had somebody came in to replace the door. It turned out that the door that they put in our house was supposed to be an outside door. But this guy did come to do this, and he it turned out that my wife found out that he had a brain problem.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, he had brain damage. He was perfectly capable of fixing the door.
He was perfectly capable of putting an outside door inside.
I mean, one wonders if the brain problem had something to do with that. But one of the immediate effects of his brain problem that was pertinent for this situation was that he told my wife that he whatever had happened to his brain meant that he didn't know when he needed to go to the bathroom.
Oh, whoa!
And so he just went to the bathroom all the time.
Just to make sure. Because he wasn't there. Whatever system was going to alert him to, I need to use the bathroom, didn't work. Wow.
So he told her about that. So one thing, just based on that really does close the distance between people. Is when you're talking about those kinds of things. So you could ask somebody, do you need to use you could just open it up right away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you need to use the bathroom? You could ask them, if they have had a brain injury or what the worst injury that they've had is, and you could tell your worst.
You could just go with if you need to go to the bathroom, is your body going to let you know?
Yeah,
you could start with that.
Well, this is crazy. Because honestly, that guy seems confused about how the knowledge of needing to use the bathroom works. Because honestly, to me, it's hardly ever up in my head.
you
hardly ever going like, oh, I consciously know I need to use the bathroom now. It's like there's a feeling.
Maybe you have
different parts of my body.
Maybe you have the same problem that he does.
Yeah.
No, I'm very successful.
Okay. Yeah.
Super successful.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's not like a conscious
you
decision
never have
I
a
come
conscious
to.
thought like I need to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
You
get
that
a sensation.
Yeah,
you get a
feel
feeling.
a sensation
and
somewhere
then you go,
else, and then you
I think I
interpret
need to use
that
the bathroom.
as like,
and then
I should use the bathroom. But it's not like I'm constantly going, oh, I need to use the bathroom. It's just like, well, yeah.
It's just an automatism that your body, you're like
automatism.
Yeah, like like an automized.
I'm not one of those.
No, I said that this is an automatism, which would be like an instance of this.
Okay.
Your autonomic nervous system is letting you know.
And but I'm just saying you're like working at your computer and then you get a sensation that's like bathroom.
Yeah.
And then your hands like jerk away from the keyboard and then you like shuffle out.
Yeah.
Like
if you'll notice.
The whole time you're like
what am I doing?
Yeah. Oh, right.
Right. If you'll notice, the dawning sensation of, oh, I'm about to use the bathroom. That's the closest I get to. I need to use the bathroom. Is I'm about to use the bathroom. I'm already there. Why am I in this room?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
why.
more of a I guess I got to use the bathroom sort of a
I'm here
attitude about it.
I'm here.
Yeah.
My body doesn't bring me here unless we need to do something.
There's something to be done.
Yes.
But
I've got something to do. Excuse me.
My body's telling me I have to be somewhere.
Yeah. A friend of mine, one time I had to use the bathroom way out in the middle of nowhere, and I knew I had a friend that lived close by. I had called him up. He had to call his wife and tell his wife that one of his friends was going to stop by to do something.
You just found yourself driving to his house.
And I think didn't he have to tell his wife with the specific wording that my friend will be there soon. His body has to do something.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. He did say that. Yeah.
Okay. Unlock the door.
But so anyway, back to Joy's question. I think that those kind of, like, if you think about the root of the word vulnerability, and vulnerability is really how, conversations get real.
Yeah.
That's how you get below the surface.
Yeah.
Is through vulnerability.
Yeah.
And vulnera means wound.
Oh.
Okay.
I didn't even realize that.
So, like, you're like, if you like are willing to share how you've been wounded,
Yeah.
and if you're kind of provoking that from them, like, tell me about.
Is that what that means?
yeah.
Vulnerability is like sharing how you're wounded, or is it like you're opening up to a point where you could be wounded?
It is. That's it's. I would say.
hand.
Well, I mean, that's probably more. What you're saying is probably more directly there. I was just thinking metaphorically of how
Yes.
how the word might function.
Yes. No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know.
But so anyway, I think like, why not just be as literal with that as possible?
Yeah.
And be like, I broke my arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You want to see this wound?
Want to see this?
This scab just won't heal. This scab on my shin. Can you take a look at this?
Yeah.
This scab just won't heal.
Yeah. Well, and think about in Jaws when they're showing each other their scars.
Yeah.
They're just sitting around comparing scars and everything, and then they're just bonding like crazy.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that some people are not going to be comfortable with that.
Really?
I just think, like, for me, yeah.
Yeah.
A guy shows up, starts showing me his scars.
Well, but if you've asked him,
you've asked him.
Yeah.
I've asked him, can I show you my scars?
Yeah.
And he goes, sure.
Yeah.
Then, yeah. I guess if you've asked, that's true. If
Yeah.
you've asked.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it might set the tone, if you go, can I show you my scars? And they say no. Now you're kind of pissed.
Yeah. Well,
You were hoping.
I think in that situation, a good tactic would just be to be kind of like, pull your sleeve up a little bit and be like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, sometimes it bothers me a little bit.
Rain's coming.
Yeah, rain's coming. That's
We got
good.
storms are brewing.
Storms are brewing, y'all.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite scar, Gabe, that you have?
My favorite scar that I have?
Physical.
My favorite physical
Physical
scar. Okay.
I didn't want you to
Ow,
get crazy.
Rats.
I
don't
know
get
about-
to talk about my emotional scars.
Yeah.
My favorite physical scar is probably. That's a good question, Caleb. Now I have to really think about it.
You don't
to
have
give a
any
real
scars
answer.
that just jump to mind?
No, not really. I'm trying to remember how I got most of these.
I like my dog bite scar.
It's crazy, yeah.
Got a big dog bite scar.
Josh has some good scars.
I'm trying to remember.
Josh
Where do
has
I
a
even have a scar?
BB in his.
I've got a BB in my bicep.
Oh, I have a scar in my arm from when I burned my arm on the oven before my play.
Okay. This was
That
just
was
your
favorite.
play?
Yeah, my play. I was a rabbit. I think
just
I
a
was
rabbit.
I was in 5th grade
Okay.
and I was
Is this Winnie the Pooh? You were a rabbit?
probably
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh or something like that.
It was Winnie the Pooh or some other rabbit
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It was Bugs Bunny the play.
No, because I definitely was not cast in a lead role.
Well, yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
wouldn't be the main bunny. Yeah.
The main Bugs Bunny.
The main-
Just one of the ancillary.
yeah. You're
Bugs
just like
Bunnies.
waiting around.
Okay.
Yeah. There's usually
Yeah.
a lot of rabbits.
I was making a cake or something and I had to
You were
be in
making a cake in 5th grade?
I was awesome. I mean, I was good at. I was
Where
a
is it?
little
Can I
fat
see
kid
it?
who wanted to bake some cakes. It's like up here somewhere.
This is not really good podcast stuff when
no.
we're
Yeah,
showing
I'm
each
sorry,
other
I'm
scars.
sorry, I'm sorry.
Talking about it's good. Looking at the scars, not
Yeah,
good.
Not good. You're right. You're right. We'll post a picture of Gabe's
Was I
scar
making
later.
a cake or is it pizza?
Well, that's a pie.
It's
yeah.
a pie or a
pie.
cake.
Pie or
Either
cake.
way, I burned my arm and then I was like, cool, maybe I don't have to be in the play anymore. Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
Still had and
Costume covered that.
it was just part of the character at that point.
yeah, you built it
Burned.
into the character.
This rabbit got burned today.
This rabbit got burned making a cake.
You went to
or
your
a pie.
director and you're like,
Yeah.
I was burned, and they said, use that.
Use that.
Use that.
When you're standing in the background.
Use that. And please do not talk to me again.
I'm trying to wrangle all these kids.
I'm dealing with 40 10-year-olds.
yeah.
I have enough going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that I think we got somewhere with that.
Thank
You
you.
saw how someone can become vulnerable
Right.
and what
You
kind
can
of-
learn so much.
Gabe and I feel so much more comfortable with each other now,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at how comfortable Gabe is.
Yeah,
Gabe's
I'm
He's kind of
clearly-
It's interesting, but Gabe's really sinking
just
into his seat.
You know, it's just really put me at ease.
His shoulders have gone
whole thing.
slack.
Yeah.
And he's barely holding his head up. His head's kind
Wow.
of lolling.
It's crazy.
My eyes are closing.
His head's back. I've never seen so far up Gabe's nose before.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a couple of sideways
By the way, clean as a
long
whistle.
holes.
Clean as a whistle.
Thank
Clean
you,
as a
Caleb.
whistle.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's just that those are right there. What you guys just heard, those are the benefits of that
Right.
sort of vulnerability.
Bring
So-
someone into
Absolutely.
your house, share with them,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and then watch them just kind of fall apart.
Yeah.
Just really relax.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
your presence. You'll bring someone into your house and get them just so relaxed.
And it might
Yep.
not be a good idea if you want them to actually do what they're there to.
And if
To
it's an
do.
hourly rate, it's
Yeah.
going to cost you
yeah.
to relax them like that.
But think about how comfortable you'll both be
Right.
Yeah.
with the situation.
Yeah.
and it might be worth
it's
the
worth the extra
expense.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part of the
Totally.
question was about there was no budget on the question.
Right.
No
And it's
budget.
How do you
That's
make
true.
small talk?
Yeah.
How can you be a good host to someone working in your house without making them feel awkward?
I mean, another
So-
idea is just you make like a whole other house,
Mhm.
and that's where you have people do stuff.
Okay.
Mhm. And you can switch back and forth.
Yes, you
Like, because
move
sometimes you
everyone
will
over.
just need something done in your house.
If there's
and
no
just nothing
budget.
for it.
Yeah,
You don't want to just schedule people to come over to
Yeah.
that house to do something.
Okay.
Like, you know what
Now
I
we're-
mean?
now
well,
we're
you can
moving-
learn from them, and
I
then you
see.
do it in your own home.
But you do so you've got a very well surveilled house.
Yes,
That is an
Yes.
exact copy.
Yeah,
You can in your home, you'll need to install a lot of technology, monitors,
Yep.
Fiber cable running from the
Internet.
the internet, or just the cameras
Fiber
in the
cable
other
running
house,
straight from the
Right.
internet. Just a cable straight
from the internet. You'll make
into
sure
that
that
house.
that room has
Yep.
internet access.
Just a-
Totally.
Yep.
And yeah, but that way, yeah, you can pause and rewind and see how
Yep.
they do everything.
Oh, that's how they did it.
And just be like, hey, feel free to just talk about what
Yeah.
you're doing while
Yeah.
you're doing it. You know?
Yeah, you'll just over this loudspeaker.
yeah.
In the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you talk more?
Please tell me
Please
what
tell
you're
me
doing.
more about how you're fixing my oven.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sort
Could
of
you wear this
narrate.
and make sure? Hey, can you the GoPro I gave you? Can you reposition that
Yeah.
because I can see your hands better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Now
have a very.
stop and look at the toolbox for a moment.
Excuse me. Can you just pretend like we have a very bored ghost in our house that wants to learn anything? Just kind of narrate what you're doing.
I mean, if we're not we're blue sky in this. There's no budget.
There's no budget.
You know,
Absolutely.
You just
okay, if there's no budget,
okay.
just buy a new house. Just move to a new house.
No budget on this.
Never
that's sort
have
of-
any strangers come into your house.
Just-
Right.
Just keep going to the next one.
Yeah.
Just move on
An
down the line.
appliance in my home
Yeah.
failed, and so now I
Yeah.
need to buy a new home.
Or you could
Yeah.
just buy, your oven breaks, buy a new oven, that sort of thing.
That's also an
Yeah.
option. Now you got to install it. Are you up for the task of installing
you-
gas if
That's
it's
true.
a gas oven?
Just
you
buy a
know?
new kitchen then.
Okay.
Don't.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, don't get a gas oven.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that's
true.
a better solution.
True, if
Yeah.
that's what you're
Yeah.
after.
Yeah,
if
just-
you want it to be safe.
just
Electric
210
oven.
Just 210 just right there.
Yeah.
Let's put it right there.
And did you ever think about how surprising it would be for people in our childhood to come to our house during the day, like on a school day, and they're like, "Oh, it's probably just like a homemaker and
Yeah.
maybe like a young child at
Right.
home," but then they would be greeted by like 8 children,
Mhm.
or maybe 6 at a given time,
I would be
running around.
as the oldest. I would be definitely hiding.
Yes, right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but just to
yeah,
to
we
show up
had
and
some
be like,
hiders.
We had
Oh,
some hiders, and we
I
did.
was one.
And it was nice that in those situations to have long sideways holes that we could
Yes, it's
just scurry into.
Scurry through to get from room to room without being seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the Yeah, and I just think that would be because you would have just expected it to be probably pretty easy in terms of the social side of things. You
Right.
just kind of show up and here go. But at our house, it was like kids trying to watch but not be seen.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that being like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I just think that would be very shocking as that sort of a.
I mean, sometimes
worker.
you're shocked by the people that would come to your house.
Right.
It's true.
That would be
Yeah.
equally shocking. Like we had this man.
Electricians.
Well,
Yeah.
I remember this man who would fill. We had a one home we lived in. We had oil. That was it was an oil furnace, and we just had to get oil.
Yeah.
Like we had a
Yeah.
tank.
An
to
oil
reserve
man.
oil,
Mhm.
and there was an oil man who would come in, and
If I say I am an oil man,
he looked like an oil, not like that kind of an oil man. He looked like he was like a man made from oil.
An oil golem.
Like, yes. Do you remember
Yeah.
the guy?
Oh yeah, definitely.
What was his name? Maybe we shouldn't say his full name.
No, I don't
feel
wanna
like his
say
name
a
was
name.
Dave.
Well, are you talking about the plumber?
Supplee.
No, I forget his
Supplee
name.
Oil?
It was he worked for them.
Yeah.
I would see him at the deli sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun guy.
Oh yeah, that's I think
Yeah.
I
Really
remember
into
this. Anyway.
smoking.
And you would
he
just
loved oil and smoking.
And smoke.
wait.
Smoking.
No, you're talking about
Plum Bob.
yeah.
He was a guy that
David.
we knew. And was he a plumber?
and he
okay.
would smell like he just smelled like cigarettes.
Maybe I just
and
thought he was
kerosene.
oil.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he was an oil man that was pretending to be a plumber.
Yeah,
Because
that
he
could be.
totally seems like he was made from oil.
If
Why
I
not,
s-
right?
If I say I'm an oil man,
Maybe he did
you will
both.
not believe me
Yeah.
because I'm a plumber.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
with the straws and
Yeah.
getting stuff, through
Right.
sideways long holes.
Yep.
Put a pipe in there, and then now you can move some stuff
When
around.
does a pipe become a tunnel? Actually, I think
when
I
does a
think I
pipe
know the answer.
become a tunnel?
Yeah.
Well, I
If
think it's
just-
more like when does a tunnel become a pipe?
right.
Well, it goes both ways. I mean, why split hairs?
Probably because we would call.
Because they're trying to kill Gabe's. Because Gabe was a rabbit and trying to kill Gabe. I don't know. Split hairs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's the kind of that joke's not good.
Right.
No truth to it.
There was
at all.
it was real. Yeah, it's not true because rabbits aren't hares.
True.
Two different
Two different kinds of
things.
They
things.
do different things.
Yeah. There's not
Yeah.
even a grain of truth in it, and we're sorry. And Caleb, I would like you to apologize to the listeners.
One thing that I've been taught as someone who tries to do comedy is never apologize.
Never apologize.
But I'm gonna make an exception this one time
Yeah.
because I agree.
Yeah.
Not a good joke. I don't
Yeah.
want to kill Gabe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Good.
don't want to do that.
Right.
So.
He's not a rabbit. He's not a hare.
Yeah.
Rabbits aren't hares.
It's totally screwed up, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to come to my house to do something.
Not right now.
No.
Yeah. No plans.
We have we've really answered the question. I would like to summarize as much as we can.
Yeah.
There's instead of worrying about small talk, just
Yeah.
decide
Mm.
that you're going to really forge a relationship here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think the big
And
takeaway is.
and to touch on the second, we didn't really address the awkward. How do you
Right.
keep things from getting awkward? But if you've done the work in the first part, you've established familiarity.
Right.
It's a lot harder to have an awkward situation with someone you're very close to,
Right.
right?
Right.
You have that level of comfortability.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I would love to spell that word.
Comfortability. Comfortability is awesome. It's the ability
Yeah.
to comfort.
yeah, it's like the opposite of vulnerability.
Yeah.
But it's so it's not the opposite. It's kind of like the nice soft bandage you put on top of vulnerability.
Yeah. Once you get
And-
vulnerable, maybe you get to comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think if you have that, you've established this familiarity, you can the awkwardness is not it's less of like a stomach, wrenching awkward, and it's more of like a light
Yeah.
sort of it's funny. It's kind of funny.
It's funny. You do
Yeah.
have to just push.
Yeah. Right.
It's really like
Yeah.
it's like James Morrison said. you've got to break on through to the other side.
Yeah, that is so true.
Yeah.
That is so true. And speaking of a musician,
Yeah.
that was
Right.
one thing that I feel like we didn't address at all is what kind of music you play.
Right.
And I'd say
That's that's a really good
Yeah.
point.
you put on. Well, do you guys have ideas?
What I'd say is go when they walk in the door. Go. These are my top 10 favorite songs.
Sure.
Yes. Yes.
and then play and then push play on the playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Just open open yourself up.
Yeah.
These are my favorite songs.
Become known
Yeah.
by this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Gabe,
I mean, what kind of music would I go for?
what would you do? Would you ask them their top? What's
I
the kind of
think
stuff you like?
I'm gonna
Or
make a
I'm going to
decision.
share this with you.
I think that sometimes as a host, you don't want to put everything on your guest, right? You have to make some decisions
Right.
about some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so I would just go with like kind of like slightly down tempo, like house trance. So there's like kind of there's like a momentum to it,
Yeah.
but it's not like frenetic
Yeah.
or too crazy. But it's like it aids in like focus,
Yeah.
you know?
This
It's
is-
like I want him to do his job. Like
I want
him
to do his
get
job
in,
really well.
get out.
One thing
That's great.
One thing that makes me think of, if money is an object, because we have been treating this like
Yeah.
money is no object.
Right.
But
They're trying to save some money on
Cashless
this.
if it
side.
is,
Yeah.
play something terrible.
Yes.
That will make them want to
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah,
and
get
they
the
will
job
work
done.
faster,
Yep.
Yeah.
and you will save money on labor.
That's true. That's true.
And-
Sorry.
Well, I was going to say maybe don't try to quiet your kids down.
Oh.
Maybe your kids screaming and
the
causing all sorts of
background,
ruckus.
when
rile
you're-
them up.
Like
Yeah.
when you're
Yeah.
even if you're like recording something for a podcast,
Right.
Yeah.
see if you
Yeah.
can get
them
your
loud.
kids yelling in the background.
I'm going to say
Totally,
I'm going to go
totally.
out on a limb and say it's probably not that difficult.
If
you
there's
know?
a song
Yeah.
you know that induces like insanity in your children,
Right.
put that on.
yeah, that's yes. Yeah.
Put that on. That's a two birds with one stone.
Whatever
so my
song
idea,
you avoid playing around your kids
Yeah.
normally, turn it on in this situation.
for me, that's the Animaniacs theme song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes children insane.
They
Yeah.
go crazy. I mean, it's right in the name. It seems
They
a bit
become
on the
animal
nose, but
maniacs.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Right. Animal Maniacs is what Animaniacs is short for.
Right. Obviously. Well, what else could it be?
Nothing comes to
Right.
mind.
Not
Yeah.
a single
Animal
thing.
Maniacs.
I'm
It's
at
an
a
animal
loss.
show. That's what I love about
Yeah.
those animal shows.
Wild.
Is they are always cartoons, but that's
Uh-huh.
because you can't get animals to do those
Right.
things.
Well,
So you draw them so that animals are doing
these sorts of
things.
animal maniacs don't exist in the wild.
It's
Caleb.
it has been a problem for so long for all of human history.
Yes.
trying to get
Trying to get
animals to
animals to
do
do that
the stuff
stuff.
that cartoons
And
do.
then suddenly,
Yeah.
Walt Disney really he helped us.
He
Yeah.
figured it out.
I mean, it would be amazing to see a real life mouse whistle.
Right.
But boy,
Yeah.
am I happy with
Oh.
Steamboat Willie?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I'm so. Dude, can we just talk about how happy I am with Steamboat Willie? On now that he's in the public domain,
Oh man,
We can
do
finally
we
talk
can
we
hang
can
about
talk
out
about,
with him.
and we can
Yeah.
make him. We can make a picture of him, the cover of the podcast, if we want to.
Let's do it.
We're not going to.
We're not
but
gonna
we
do
could.
that. It doesn't fit with the aesthetic.
But
My idea for music was to immediately tell them that something's wrong with my stereo, and the only things we can listen to are either just rain sounds
Yeah.
yeah.
or Havana Gila on repeat.
Mm-hmm.
So your choice. I'm gonna leave it up to you.
Wouldn't that be nice? You're there. You're moving a stove in and out. You're pulling a toilet. Whatever you've got to do, and in the background is
Havana Gila, Havana Gila, Havana Gila, Venus me
You pull the toilet out. You lift it over your head.
Havana Gila,
Yeah.
what else can you? Venus
And
me
you
Havana
you're pulling a window out. You're changing a window. And you're lifting the window over your head. Or maybe you're switching out the router in somebody's house, and you pull the router out, lift the router over your head. Yeah.
Udrakim,
you're there
Udrakim, Balasamaya, Udrakim, Balasamaya,
to change out a window, and you pull the window out of a wall, and you throw it on the ground to smash it for good luck.
Udrakim,
Yeah.
Asamaya.
Hey.
And those are just strains coming from inside long sideways holes.
Right, right. You're hearing that, and then it starts again.
It starts up again.
Just keeps rolling over.
Guys, thanks so much for listening. You can send in your questions to Advanced Answering Techniques. The email address is advancedansweringtechniques@gmail.com. We're looking for a message about a minute in length, and it's good if it's an audio file of some kind that you're attaching to that email.
Oh, yeah.
We do covet your questions. We appreciate them. We love them. We kiss them at night.
Yeah. This is how we feel.
Yep. And techniques you can take away: be vulnerable with your answers.
Be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like we were.
Yeah.
We were all really exposing some deep, some depths.
Yeah. Be
Deep
vulnerable so you can be
ourselves.
comfort.
Yeah.
Comfort.
Yeah, so you basically you want to be a pit, you don't want to be a long sideways hole.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's
Thank you.
good.
That's great, Gabe.
Yeah.
And you could also play this podcast for them. They would love to listen to this podcast.
Yeah, it would be interesting to have someone come to your house and you're already listening to this, and they're just like,
Yeah. That would be cool.
they're like nodding their head in agreement.
They're like,
Yeah.
cool.
This is all good stuff.
Yeah.
really
and
good.
they will probably get the job done very, very quickly.
Again, money is an object.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Guys, thanks so much for doing this with me. I really appreciate you guys specifically.
There's nothing I would rather do.
Thanks.
It's really fun.
Yep. I have some errands to run, but I was glad to make time today.
Yeah.
Fit it in.
Fit it in.
It's great. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye. Bye.
Apparently.
Bye. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys.
We're shrinking down into our normal selves. We get big.
We get to do the podcast.
We get really big to do the podcast.
But now we're getting really small.
If we're a normal size, we can't fit in your phone.
Yep.
We have to fit in your phone. Because now we have to play the podcast.
Now it's time for us to play the podcast.
Do the podcast like a play. Gabe's a rabbit. Hear the podcast.
Whenever you're near, I'm stuck right here. Your thorns that grew, I'm out of place to hold.